Welcome to the class, students. Today we'll discuss about body fluids. What exactly are these body fluids and what is their role? See, different organisms, they have different body fluids. The composition of body fluid is also different, and the body fluids are mainly responsible to maintain circulation of food substances, circulation of oxygen and carbon dioxide, the respiratory gases, and circulation of the nitrogenous wastes also. So means blood in our body, it is the main body fluid which maintains the circulatory system. And what are the other body fluids present except the blood? Except blood, we have lymph and serum as the body fluids. So let's have a look in a very details about the composition of all these three different types of body fluids. Okay, see, body fluids: blood, lymph and serum. Circulatory system. What is the circulatory system and what is the need of this system? As we have different systems, the organ systems are present in our body, and different organ systems, they are carrying out different types of activities. Okay, and the circulatory system, it is responsible for supplying oxygen and nutrients to all of our cells, and it also collects back the nitrogenous waste along with the carbon dioxide. Okay, and blood along with the lymph, these two tissue fluids, they maintain this balance of oxygen and carbon dioxide ratio in the circulatory system. Okay, so blood, let's discuss about the first body fluid, the main important body fluid of our body. It is blood. What about its composition? Blood is composed of plasma. It is a liquid component, plasma, and along with the corpuscles. Corpuscles are also known as formed elements. Okay, so what is the composition of plasma and what are the types of corpuscles, we'll also discuss. See, plasma. Plasma is a straw color viscous fluid. It is the fluidy part of the blood. Okay, and this plasma, it makes about 55% of the blood. Then what is about the composition of this plasma? See, it is not only the water, it is also composed of certain types of nutrients, minerals, and it also contains certain types of proteins. Okay, so 90 to 92% of water is the composition, along with nutrients like as our diet, what we are taking in our diet, the carbohydrates, proteins, the lipids. Okay, all these are also there as the composition in the plasma. Okay, so nutrients are there along with the minerals like calcium, magnesium. Ions are also there along with the bicarbonate ion. So these are the minerals present in the plasma, and it also contains 6 to 8% proteins. Actually, three different types of proteins are there, which are the major components of the proteins of the plasma. Okay, out of these three, see, fibrinogen, this is the protein of plasma which is responsible for blood clotting. This fibrinogen, it is the inactive form of the protein. This fibrinogen, it is activated to form fibrin, and these fibrins, they are responsible for clottings. Okay, so whenever we are having any injury, then after certain time the blood release of blood, it automatically stops, and it is called blood clotting or coagulation in the wound. Okay, and this is done by the fibrinogen because it is activated into fibrin. There is a sequence and cascade of proteins are involved, cascade of enzymes are also involved in this coagulation process. Okay, thrombokinase, it converts the prothrombin into thrombin, and this thrombin, it converts the inactivate fibrinogen into fibrin, and fibrin is involved mainly in the clotting. Okay, so this is the fibrinogen which is responsible for clotting. And second is globulins. This is also one type of protein of plasma. These globulins, they are responsible to maintain defense. See, what is self-defense? Self-defense, it is maintained in our body by two factors. One is the blood mediated immunity, another is the tissue mediated immunity. So these globulins are the globular proteins. They make the antibodies, and they are present in our blood. And these antibodies, they are the self-defense proteins of the body. And different antibodies are formed from the globular proteins or globulins. So they are responsible to maintain the defense system. And third is the albumins. Albumins, they maintain osmotic balance of blood. Okay, the osmotic balance, mineral balance of the blood, it is maintained by the albumins. Then come to the corpuscles, the second composition of blood. Corpuscles are the formed elements. These corpuscles are the cells of blood. Three types of cells are there. First is RBC, the red blood corpuscles, also known as erythrocytes, and these are the most abundant type of corpuscles of the blood. Okay, see, 5 to 5.5 millions of RBCs are present in the millimeter cube of blood in a healthy individual. Okay, and these RBCs, these are formed in the red bone marrow in adults, and in the embryo, in the liver, it is formed. Okay, and these are devoid of nucleus, means these are anucleate in case of mammals except camel. These are anucleate in almost all the mammals, and the devoid of nucleus in mammals, and biconcave in shape. The shape of RBC is biconcave. Then the RBC, it is having hemoglobin on the surface. What exactly is the hemoglobin and what is its role? Why it is present in the RBC? These hemoglobin are the quaternary structure of proteins. These a single hemoglobin, it is made up of 4 globular proteins, 2 alpha chains and 2 beta chains are there. 4 globular proteins, they make the conjugate hemoglobin structure, and it is having a heme group or iron group which binds with the oxygen to form oxyhemoglobin. And mostly this hemoglobin which is present on the surface of RBC, it is maintaining the it is responsible for transport of oxygen and carbon dioxide through the blood. Okay, so this is the hemoglobin present on the surface of RBC, and 12 to 16 grams of hemoglobin should be there in the 100 ml of blood of a healthy individual. This is the hemoglobin presence. This is the amount of hemoglobin should be there. Then RBC's lifespan is there. It is 120 days approximately, and these RBCs, after completion of their life cycle, they are destroyed in spleen. So spleen is known as graveyard of RBC, and spleen is also known as the blood bank of our body, because the worn out RBCs, these are processed and new RBCs are also formed in the spleen. Okay, so this is all about the RBC. RBC is the erythrocyte. The process of formation of RBC, it is known as erythropoiesis, which occurs in the red bone marrow. Okay, and in case of embryo, it is the RBCs are formed in the liver. Okay, then come to the WBC. WBC is the second type of corpuscle. First is RBC, second is WBC. It is also known as leukocytes, and the third component or third corpuscle, it is the platelets or thrombocytes. Okay, so WBC or the leukocytes. Come to the second one. These WBC, these are lack of hemoglobin. There is no hemoglobin present on the surface of any WBC, so they are appearing white, and these are the white blood corpuscles, also known as leukocytes. These are nucleated. And their nucleus, they may be bilobed, the nucleus, or trilobed nucleus also may be there. So they are nucleated, and these are less in number in comparison to RBC. And what is the number? It is approximately 6,000 to 8,000 WBC per millimeter cube of blood in a healthy individual. And these are comparatively short-lived also, and they live for 8 to 10 days. Okay, and these WBC or leukocytes, these are of two different types, granulocytes and agranulocytes, depending upon the cytoplasmic appearance. The granulocytes, they are having granulated cytoplasm, and in agranulocytes, there is no granules in the cytoplasm. Then come to the granulocytes. Granulocytes, WBC, under that granulocytes. These granulocytes are of three different types, depending upon the cytoplasmic composition. See, the granulocytes, the first one is eosinophil. As per the name, these are acidic by nature. They are having acidic cytoplasm. Basophils, they are having basic cytoplasm, and neutrophils, they are having neutral cytoplasm. Okay, so granulocytes or WBC, the first one, granulocytes, these are of three different types: eosinophils, basophils, and neutrophils. Similarly, the agranulocytes, these are of two different types: lymphocytes and monocytes. Lymphocytes are two different types. The B and T lymphocytes we'll discuss later when we'll come to the lymphocytes in details. So lymphocytes and monocytes. Monocytes are the largest WBC. These are the large sized WBC, and these monocytes, they can penetrate the blood vessels wall into the tissues, and they can convert into macrophages, and they become phagocytic. Okay, so they also can maintain the tissue mediated immunity in the tissue level. These monocytes, they are converted into macrophages, so phagocytic macrophages. Okay, then see about the granulocytes and agranulocytes. Granulocytes are three different types, and agranulocytes are two different types. So in details, there are 5 different types of cells present as the WBC or leukocytes in our body. Then come to their functions. What exactly their functions are? Eosinophil, it makes about 2 to 3% of WBC. It resists infections. The eosinophils, they are responsible to resist infection, and they are also involved in allergic reactions. Okay. Then basophils, they are the least present WBC, very less amount they are present, 0.5 to 1% only of the WBC, and they secrete 3 different types of, see here, they secrete histamine. Histamine is the component which is responsible for vasodilation. Histamine is also involved in the allergic reactions, and it causes vasodilation, that it increases the width of blood vessels. Okay. means if we have any swellings in a particular area, then there will be the histamine role. There will be the histamine role so that the blood vessel is dilated, so that maximum number of the phagocytic cells, they will come near that and they will engulf the antigen there. Okay, so in the antigen antibody interaction also, this histamine, it is having a role. Histamine is responsible for vasodilation. It increases width of the blood vessel as per the need. Then come to the heparin. It is also known as anticoagulant, because this heparin, it prevents coagulation of blood inside the blood vessels. Inside the blood vessels, due to presence of this heparin, blood is never coagulated. Okay, and serotonin, the third one. Serotonin is for the vasoconstrictor. It is known as vasoconstrictor. It constricts the blood vessels, means after the work of histamine is over, automatically the blood vessels, they come to their normal size. The width of the blood vessels, it is reduced because of the action of serotonin, and it is also known as vasoconstrictor, having the antagonistic role of histamine. Histamine is vasodilation, vasodilator it is known as, and serotonin is responsible for vasoconstriction, so it is known as vasoconstrictor. Then these basophils, these are involved in inflammatory reactions. Inflammatory reactions means inflammation occurs whenever there is an antigen antibody interaction in the blood. Okay. Then come to the third one, neutrophils. We have discussed about eosinophils and basophils of the granulocytes. Then come to the third granulocyte, that is neutrophil. These are neutral, having neutral cytoplasm, and these are the most abundant WBC. 60 to 65% of WBC are neutrophils, and these are phagocytic. What exactly is phagocytic means what? These are causing phagocytosis. Phagocytosis means it is a cell eating process. Whenever any antigen, any antigenic protein, it is there in the blood, then these type of neutrophils, as per the monocytes also we have discussed, these monocytes are also phagocytic. The monocytes and the neutrophils, they are causing phagocytosis of the antigens present in our blood. Okay. So these neutrophils are phagocytic by nature. They cause what? Cellular death of the antigen. Any of the antigenic protein or antigen can be killed in our blood because of the phagocytic action of neutrophils and monocytes. Okay, they engulf the pathogens. They engulf the antigen. Then come to the lymphocytes. See, after a granulocyte, the first one is lymphocytes. Lymphocytes, they make 20 to 25% of the WBC, and lymphocytes are of two different types, B lymphocytes and T lymphocytes. B lymphocytes, as per the name, why it is B? Because these are synthesized in the bone marrow. These are produced in the bone marrow, and the maturation of B lymphocytes also occur in bone marrow. And these B lymphocytes, they are responsible for maintaining the blood mediated immunity. Blood mediated immunity means any of the immune system of blood, it is maintained to the B lymphocytes, and they also trigger the antibody formation in our blood. Then T lymphocytes, come to the T lymphocytes. Why the name T? Because these lymphocytes are also produced in the bone marrow, but they mature in the thymus. Thymus is a lymphoid organ present in our chest cavity which deteriorates at the age of 14, and the T lymphocytes, they mature in the thymus, and these T lymphocytes, they maintain the tissue mediated immunity. These T lymphocytes, these are of four different types. As they maintain tissue mediated immunity, they may be helper T cells, killer T cells, cytotoxic T cells, or suppressor T cells. We'll discuss later when we'll discuss in a very detail about our immune system. Okay, so these T lymphocytes, these are of four different types, and they maintain the tissue mediated immunity. Then come to the third type of cell of the corpuscles. See, we have discussed about RBC, then WBC, types of WBC, 5 different types of WBC are there: eosinophil, basophil, neutrophil, then lymphocytes and monocytes. Then come to the third type of corpuscle, that is platelets or thrombocytes. These platelets or thrombocytes, they are produced from the megakaryocytes of bone marrow. Megakaryocytes are the specialized cells present in our bone marrow with large nucleus. These megakaryocytes, they divide to form the platelets or thrombocytes. And these platelets or thrombocytes, they are present about 1 lakh to 50,000, from 1,50,000 to 3,50,000 per millimeter cube of blood. And these are responsible for blood clotting. Okay, so platelet count, if someone is having less platelet count, then there will be what? Clotting disorders. Okay, because these platelets are involved in blood clotting. Then come to the second type of body fluid, that is lymph. We have discussed about the composition of blood and different functions of the different parts. Different parts means we have discussed about the plasma proteins. We have also discussed about the corpuscles, types of corpuscles, types of cells and their action. Then come to the lymph. This is the second body fluid of our body. See how this lymph it is produced. Blood is there, it is running through the blood vessels. Blood vessels means the veins and arteries. Okay, and what is lymph exactly? Lymph is also known as ECF. It is extracellular fluid, or it is also known as tissue fluid. Why? Because this lymph is formed in the intercellular spaces. Whenever the blood vessels, they enter in deep into the tissue level and they form branchings. These narrow blood vessels, they are also having very thin wall. Okay, through these unilayered thin wall blood vessels, the plasma can leak out into the intercellular spaces. Okay, and along with the plasma, the nutrients, oxygen, dissolved oxygen and dissolved oxygen, nutrient, minerals, they also leak out into the intercellular spaces. And it is devoid of corpuscles, only it contains the lymphocytes, the lymph. Okay, so this lymph, it is present in the intercellular spaces because it is leaked out from the blood vessels. And lymph, it acts as a middleman between the blood and the tissues. It provides oxygen and nutrients to the tissue, and it collects back the carbon dioxide and nitrogenous waste materials from the cells or tissues and provide it into blood. This lymph, so it is known as the middleman between the blood and tissues. And this lymph, it is having the this lymph they make the lymphatic vessels, and this is a backflow method is there. The lymphatic vessels, they run and they collect the nitrogenous waste and carbon dioxide, all other different types of nitrogenous wastes, and these lymphatic vessels, they merge to form the veins. Okay, so these lymph, it is the carrier of nutrients, oxygen and hormone also, and a special type of lymphatic vessels are present in our intestinal villi. These are known as lacteals. See here I have written here, fat absorption in the intestine, it is done by the lacteals, by the lymphatic vessels of lacteals which are present in the intestinal villi. So lymph, it is having a special role here. The intestinal villi are the finger-like projections present in our intestine wall, in the mucosa, serosa, muscularis, submucosa and mucosa in the intestine. In the last layer, innermost layer, mucosa, it is provided with the lacteals. Lacteals are the lymphatic vessels which are responsible for absorption of fat. Okay, so this is all about the lymph. It is known as the extracellular fluid because it is present in the intercellular spaces in between the cells, and is also known as the tissue fluid and is the middleman between the blood and the tissues. Okay, come to the third type of body fluid, that is the serum. What is the composition of the serum? It is very simple, that serum, it is the plasma minus clotting factors. The composition of plasma we have discussed. The composition of plasma we have discussed, that is having water, nutrients, mineral and proteins, and is also having the clotting factors, that is the fibrinogen. So the plasma without clotting factors is the serum, and whenever we are having a small injury, just the overall tissues, they are damaged, so overall cells, they are damaged, the overall layer, it is damaged, then a straw yellow color fluid, it comes out. It is nothing but the serum. It is without the clotting factors. Okay, so this is all about the different types of body fluids: blood, lymph, serum. Then compositions also we have discussed, and different functions of different types of cells present in the blood also we have discussed. Okay, thank you for watching. Share and subscribe my channel for the upcoming videos. Thank you.